Is your home more likely to be featured in an episode of Hoarders than it is HGTV? Today we're going to go over 10 tips that are going to help you organize your home, simple and cheap. Let's do this. So your house is a hot mess and it's absolutely overwhelming you. You don't know where to begin. We're going to count down backwards. Make sure you stay tuned all the way to number 1 because that is my very favorite organization tip, and it's really probably 100 tips in one. Don't miss that one. But before we begin, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Click the bell notification so that you don't miss any time, money, energy, or sanity-saving tips. And check out my books below if you'd like to read. Number 10 is a magnetic knife bar. You can mount these to the wall, and I've seen lots of people do it, but I like to mount mine right to the fridge. And this magnet's super strong. It's going nowhere. And I like to put it right at the top and kind of let it rest on the edge. Just make sure that you can open your refrigerator. I put my knives that I most use on here and scissors. Number 9 is a gadget that you get from the hardware store. I got mine from Ace. It costs a couple of bucks. But when I was cooking, I was always looking for my measuring cups, for my measuring spoons, and wasting a lot of time. But the S-Hook has solved the problem. I just pick my cups up or my measuring spoons up, use them, rinse them out, put them right back. You can even see them most of the time unless you're right there in the kitchen, but they're super handy. Number 8 is jewelry organization. I have used every jewelry organization system under the sun, and none of them have really worked for me. I used a jewelry box and everything was getting tangled. It was hard to see what I had in there. I was always losing earrings. Plus there just wasn't enough room. I had a jewelry tree and it was constantly tipping over, again, mangling my necklaces, and I would spend hours just trying to untangle these stupid things, then end up breaking them. So that just wasn't working. So in my old house, I had plaster walls that were pretty soft. So I found these hook pins that worked beautiful. They just pushed right into the wall, and I will link them below, and made a pretty display of the jewelry. And I used a cork board for my earrings. But when I moved to my new house, the walls were much harder, and so I couldn't push those pins in. So I needed a new system, and I found this on Amazon, again linked below. It keeps it organized, it keeps it untangled, it keeps everything where I can very quickly see what I have, choose which necklace goes with what outfit. And I use the cork boards again to keep my earrings together. Number 7 is repurpose a silverware drawer organizer to keep my loose tea, and I absolutely love tea. This keeps, I don't have to go fumble through a bunch of boxes. I can just very quickly thumb through which teas I have and choose the one that I want. I also keep a few extra Keurig cups and coffee bags and that sort of thing in there, but this has worked very nicely to keep my tea. Number 6 is labels. I grow my own herbs, which you may have seen in this video in tincture making. Check it out. But I dry them, I put them in little jars, and I label them. I love these little chalk labels, and I will link those below. I use them both to label my herbs, which I keep in my wine fridge, not because I don't like wine, I certainly do, but because I use a lot more herbs than I do wine, although I did save a little room for some wine. I also use the labels for my makeup. I was always kind of using the same makeup like everybody else, the same eyeshadow and stuff for my morning routine going to work, quick face kind of deal. But I was always searching for the same eyeshadow, eyeliner, and it was just stupid. I was wasting a lot of time. And so to cut my morning routine down and make it to work on time, I got a little makeup organizer, and I did 3 drawers, eye, lip, face, and so I keep my eyeshadows and eyeliner and mascara that I use on a daily basis in one drawer, my powders and blush in the second drawer, and then anything for the lip. So that way it just has cut down tremendously. And you know, in the morning, if you cut down 5 minutes from your routine, it might be being late and not being late. So that has really probably saved me about 15 minutes each morning. I use the labels for my dresser drawers because even though I know that my pants go in the bottom drawer, my underwear go in this drawer, my socks go in this drawer, what happens is I get busy in the morning or whatever, and so eventually I start with my drawers all organized, and 6 months later I'm reorganizing them again because I'll get a hurry and throw the shirt back in the pants drawer, underwear in the sock drawer, that sort of thing. And so I get really sick of organizing my clothes over and over again, trying to save time, and that's not really saved me much time. But when I put the labels on that pants go here, I'm in nature to want to follow directions, so I'm much less likely to put my shirt in the pants drawer when it says pants right on it. Tip number 5 is And this tip might seem rudimentary and you already know to do it, but I wonder if you really do. Number 5 is keeping your keys by the door hanging up. So this was the number one time waster in my life. I lost my keys all the time. It seemed like every other day I'm gonna be late for work or just frustrated or rushing, and because I didn't know where my keys were. They were in the cupboard, they were in my dresser drawer, they were on my bathroom sink, and so that was just stupid. And people kept telling me, hang your keys up, but I don't know why, but I was being obstinate and didn't. But as soon as I did, I got this. This is what I use for my key hanger, but of course you can just use a hook. A cup hook would work. And every time I come through that door, I put my keys on there, and I try to never set them down anywhere else because I will not find them, and I know if they're there. And if anybody says, where are my keys? I say, did you check the hook? And they're always there. But I also use it for umbrellas because I had the same problem with that. So that has been very time saving for me. Do you always lose your keys, or do you have a system? Where do you keep your car keys that you can always find them? Please answer below. And if you have any other organization tips than what you see here, please share it with the rest of us because we need all the help we can get. Number 4 is, I'm not a big hat person, but my guy is. He loves his baseball caps, like probably had hundreds of them, and so it's just a mess trying to keep up with them, and they were kind of everywhere. And so we got this hat hanger, and I got this from Amazon, we'll link below, and he chooses his like 5-6 favorite hats that he wears on a regular basis, and then he rotates them out. But he puts the hats that he's most likely to wear there, and they're visually there. He can pick one up, and the rest get neatly stacked in his closet, and so he can switch them out as needed. We also have used the same rack for tip number 3, the same rack, and except we use it for belts. And so his belts, same thing, they were going everywhere. He was hanging them on the top of hangers, which works fine too if you use the same hanger over and over again, but they were finding themselves kind of rolled up and in drawers, laying on dressers and things like that. And so this has been very handy. He can very quickly scan his belts and pick the one he needs and use it. And I think it looks nice as well. But you can also use these racks not just for hats and belts, but you can use them for bras, you can use them for scarves, you can use them for earbuds and that sort of things. Tip number 2 is, for tip number 2, we're gonna go out to my greenhouse. And this was something that somebody shared with me, but there's nothing new under the sun. Same thing, I was leaving my garden tools everywhere. They're metal, they get rusty. I couldn't find them half the time. And so now I got this pot, and I used a broken one that I wasn't going to use out in the yard, and filled it with play sand and then some oil. You can use pretty much any kind of oil, but I happen to have spare small motor engine oil, so I mixed it with that and just kind of coated the sand with it. And now when I get my garden tools, when I'm finished with them, I just press them down, poke them down into the sand, and they get a nice oiling so they don't rust, and I know where they are. I love this. This has been wonderful. And as promised, my absolute favorite and was a complete game changer for me. I hope it will be for you too. It's back of the door shoe hangers. And yes, before you say it, I know you already know that you can use these for shoes, but there are so many more uses for them. Because I like to use them on the back of my bathroom door. I keep my hairsprays, my curling irons, my blow dryers, my hairpins, and anything that's hair related. It keeps everything nice and neat. I also like to keep one on the back of the basement door. That way mittens, scarves, and hats have a place, and each mitten has its match right there. But my all-time favorite use has got to be seed saving. Before this method, I was keeping all my seeds in a box and wasting tons of time searching for the seeds that I needed. Now they're organized by category. All my beans go in one pouch, all my winter squash, all my tomatoes, etc. And I can clearly look for what I need and pull it out very easily. This has been such a time saver. So that's all we have for you today. If you got at least one tip out of it that you hadn't thought of or that made you rethink of, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps us out, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.